So it's been a while since I've done a review of something, and I decided it was probably time to go ahead and get some under my belt. I've got several on the back burner, different things that I've seen that I've been wanting to do reviews for, and I decided to go ahead and start with this one. It's for a Netflix original series by Harlan Coben, based on a book that he's written, and it's called The Stranger. And if you are familiar at all with any of his material, well, for me specifically, my only exposure to his material has been Safe. I think it was last year. Yeah, I believe it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. This year has been so wonky. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to piece together events, but it was last year that I first saw Safe. That was the one with, I think it was last year. Dang it, y'all. Whatever. I saw Safe a while ago. My mom and I had started watching it, then I introduced it to my mom, and it had Michael C. Hall in it, and it took place in the UK, and it was pretty interesting the way the plot was put together. But anyway, I think maybe it was around that time I found out he was a writer, and so then this show comes, and I was like, okay, well, I'm really interested because I liked Safe. I was impressed with the acting, I was impressed with the storytelling, and I jumped into this. My mom and I both started watching this as well. We were watching it at my brother's house, and I remember that we were getting really into it, and I can't remember if I had already seen it. No, I can't remember, you guys. I know I watched it with my brother. Yes, it was when I was in California, and my mom was not there with me that time. But did watch it with mom, or I introduced it to mom, and she and my dad watched it. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's hard, crazy trying to piece together. Anyway, whatever. What I discovered about Harlan Coben's writing, and I have not read his books, like I said, is that he weaves these pretty intricate plots and subplots together, and a lot of times it seems like the underlying theme of his stories has to do with secrets. It was like that in Safe. It was like that in this. I understand there's another miniseries that he has, or that's on Netflix, and then there was one coming up that I did a reaction and review for, and I can't remember the name of it. That one is a foreign language, like takes place in, I don't know, maybe Norway or somewhere over there in that general area. And that the theme of that also seems to be dealing with secrets. So he really seems to concentrate on stories about people that have these secrets. And as the show goes on, as the story progresses, these secrets start to kind of come to the surface little by little by little. And you start to see that things aren't quite as simple as they seemed in the beginning. You start to know more about the characters, and you see there's a little bit more complexity going on with them than you expected. I like that he writes characters that are pretty complex, and they're interesting. I mean, that's what makes them interesting. They're not really all that superficial. They do things that you can understand, like you understand why people do what they do in his stories. So the basic premise of this is that the character played by Richard Armitage, I think that's his name, this is his wife, and this is a stranger. The stranger, she approaches him and she says to him, as you can see in the trailer, this is what it shows. She says, you know, your wife's been lying to you. She had said she was pregnant and then she lost the baby. And you should check your credit card receipts and all this stuff. You're like, what the heck this is really weird. So that's how the story starts to just kind of unfold. And murders happen, or at least a murder happens. And there's other storylines going on with his kids, and the lawyer that he's not a lawyer. He used to be a detective or something. This guy's a lawyer and he's trying to do his lawyer stuff, and then there's his neighbors and they've got stories going on, and you a lot of times are wondering how things are connected, but in the end, a lot of little things that kind of present themselves as maybe they're connected, but they're really just red herrings. I mean, they have their own sort of thing that's going on with it, but it's not necessarily connected to the main plot of the story, which is dealing with this guy and his wife, and what's up with the stranger. And then this is one of the detectives, and they're investigating murder that happens, and it's just quite interesting. And I really liked how it was put together, and I liked the overall flow of the story. I feel like I would like to check out his books, but I really don't read too much anymore. And I don't listen to too many audiobooks anymore. So I don't know when or if I'd ever get around to it, but I'm a big fan so far of his stories. And I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming up, and the other one that's on Netflix, but I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, if you guys like sort of like character dramas wrapped up in mystery and some thriller stuff that happens, then check out his stuff if you've got Netflix, or if you are interested to read the books. I have no idea how the books compare to the miniseries that's on here. I don't know if there's stuff that's added to it for the show, or obviously there's probably a lot of stuff taken out, but there were several episodes, maybe 8 or 10, maybe 8. And the episodes were, I don't know, 40 to 50 some minutes long. So it certainly felt like it was something that was spread out enough to the point that it didn't really feel like things were too terribly rushed. Things unfolded in a pretty natural progression. That's what it felt like to me. And I enjoyed it. There was a time when one of the episodes, my brother and I, we were watching it, and he was saying something to me that he said something like, wouldn't it be interesting? Because it was a storyline revolving around one of the characters in here. And he said, wouldn't it be funny if there's a story about such and such that happened, and you're trying to figure out the mystery of this, and then like at the end such and such happens and reveals what the mystery is. And he laid it out, and I don't want to get specific, because if I do, it's going to be a kind of a spoiler for this, because what's really hilarious is he had just said it not too long before, maybe like the episode before or earlier in that episode. He had laid out this plot. Oh, wouldn't it be sudden that this and this and this happens and this happens, and then this thing happens, and then you find out, oh, this is what happened. And I swear to you guys, that exact thing played out in this show. It was so freaking hilarious. And when it was revealed, and we're both watching the screen, and it clicked with us. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what he had just been spelling out for a possible plot in a story. And he was like this, like pointed at the screen, like, and then I laughed. I just laughed and laughed and laughed. That's all I could do was laugh for like 5 minutes, because it was like, he stole his plot. He stole his plot. But no, that plot had already been done. He wasn't the first one to think of it. Too bad, Timothy. Have to think of something else. Anyway, okay, you guys, this was a long time in coming. Like I said, I saw this way back when I went to California in February, and that was when I watched this. And I was impressed. It's something that I feel was good enough to watch again, even though I doubt I'll have time to. I just want to go on to the next good story of his on Netflix. So that's what I'll do at some point. I don't know. I don't think I'll review Safe. I don't think, because that's like, so there's stuff I've seen so far back that it's kind of a little hard to remember the details. So, I mean, as you see, I had trouble trying to remember when I saw this. Was it with my mom, or was it with my brother, or was it with both? And anyway, so, okay. That's it for this one, you guys. I want to wrap it up. Later.